Strangers podcast with Max Hearing. I'm Max Hearing, and today my guest, we kind of look alike. It's like two different versions of the same person, just in like different worlds. My guest today is recording artist Mendel Goldman. Mendel, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Not a problem. I'm happy to be here. I'm doing great. Thank God.
Thank,
How,
thank God. Look at
how
that.
about yourself?
I'm fine. I don't. I wish
That
I said I'm doing great. I'm okay.
that's that's it. Just no, I'm fine. That makes me want to
It's
ask more
Tuesday.
questions.
It's Tuesday, Like Tuesday's not. It's not like that. That's such a good day in the week. So how am I gonna be like
I get that.
great?
I get that. I get that.
Whatever. You just dropped a song last week, I believe,
About 3 weeks ago now.
3 weeks
Two,
ago,
something like that. Yeah.
from that called Education with Yechiel Jacobs, who I didn't know did music, basically about correct me if I'm wrong, but like the pro-Palestinian protesters on primarily like college campuses and just like the level of like misinformation they're
Yeah.
hearing. What inspired you to kind of put like a little comedic twist on that and
Um.
make the song?
Well, the comedic twist was definitely all Yechiel. Like that, the before Yechiel came on, the song just sounded angry. Like if you just listen to the two verses that I contributed to the song, there's a lot of anger behind it, and it's very not funny. Like there are some lines there definitely in the first verse. There I think I had a line of what do you get when a bunch of stupid kids living on daddy's money and don't know what a credit score is? Like that's just like a dig at them. And there's a couple of digs at them in there, but Yechiel really came in and added the comedic aspect, which I think was really important for the overall vibe of the song. Like I mentioned before he came on, it was just very angry. And I feel like that definitely represents one side of what a lot of people are feeling these past couple of months. And I think the comedic side is just, that's who we are as Jews, and we've been through things like this throughout millennia, and this is how we deal with it.
It's the only way to survive.
Absolutely.
It's the only way to survive, man. Uh, it's interesting with that song. I mean, I don't want to categorize all the pro-Palestinian protesters the same way, but like the ones on college camp, but it's often like when it came down to like when we had encampments a couple months ago, they were primarily at Ivy Leagues and like the most reputable colleges in the universe, like in the country.
I've been saying for a long time, you know, I personally, I have to preface this. These are my own personal opinions, and
100%.
I'm not looking to disparage anyone who's going to college or is putting the work in towards getting a degree. I think that's amazing, and kudos for you for going and getting that degree.
Yeah.
But college is really for two types of people. There's the one type of people who know exactly what they want to do, and that requires a degree, like doctors, lawyers, etc., accountants, and all the like. And then there's the second group of people who have no idea what they want to do with their lives, and they just want to waste time for 4 years. And if you really look at the who was there, and if you pay attention to what the kids on college campuses are actually saying, majority of the kids who are on college campus just want to get to classes.
Yeah.
And the people who are sitting out there and protesting, you know, as they say in the South, bless their heart.
But yeah, sure, bless their heart. It is, I mean, the truth of the matter is that like the media wants to make into this big thing, right? But like this whole conflict, let alone the encampments, it is like what we're seeing is the extreme pro-Palestinian side and sometimes the extreme pro-Israel side. In America, we're definitely seeing more of the pro-Palestinian side, but like in other places in the world, like I'm sure they're not getting consuming like the same media as we are. So there is still a silent majority.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Whenever you have situations like this, there's always a silent majority. There's always, people who just don't care enough to say anything. There are the people who don't think it's their place to say anything, and then there's the people who are like, "Oh, who's going to listen to me?" But those people end up being a lot. And that's something that, it's hard to remember when a mob is screaming for 8 months.
Yeah, and they scream loud,
Yeah, they do.
and they
They're
have
very
good chance.
they you know what they do. And I've been like, we need some chance. Like we gotta like come on, we got some creative
Yeah.
people. Let's come up with a couple.
Apparently, it's not our domain. I mean, this isn't an original idea that I'm saying, by the way, that they have good chance. Like, but once they get that drum in there,
Oh yeah.
like I'm now dancing.
I was actually at this was a couple of months ago, around Hanukkah time. I was helping out a buddy of mine. He had a comedy show in the city in Manhattan, and it was a charity event comedy show for Israel. And somehow the pro-Palestinians got wind of it and they came and they were protesting outside. Thankfully, the police maintained a nice presence. They put up barricades and they got, all the protesters had to stay behind the barricades, and we were okay. They were heckling, but we were fine. And I actually remember like being very impressed with the spontaneity of their heckles and their like chants. Like they were making them up on the spot.
Yeah, they're impressive, aren't they?
It was really impressive. And I was just like, if you just like put your talents towards something that, you know, is right, that would be great. Like not even something that's right. Go make some good music. Go write
Yeah,
some good poetry. You got some talent. Like
for sure.
just a waste.
Just on, yeah, because our chants aren't good. Like, and this is like not an original idea at all. Like Modi Rosenfeld, the Jewish comedian, talked about this. Like, I'm not like saying this like as like it's I'm the first person to say, but our chants are bad.
No, our chants are
On
not good.
Jewish chants, proso chants, however you cut it, they're bad.
No, no, we tend to lean on the cheesy side,
Yeah, we should stop.
which is ironic because majority of Jews are lactose intolerant.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I'm not, thank God. I
Oh
love
wow,
cheese.
good for you. Yeah, I'm good with everything, but cream. So like no Alfredo
Oh yeah.
sauce.
Oh man.
Yeah, I test it. I test it like once a year, like once every 2 years, like out like a fettuccine Alfredo or something.
Because like
Always a bad
you
move.
you can outgrow that kind of stuff, right?
So I thought like at a younger age, because like to be clear, just for the viewers, like Ashkenazi Jews, as Mendel and I are, have like a huge disadvantage when it comes to lactose. They've done studies. I don't know if you I looked up a study. It's 75% of Ashkenazi Jews, 3 in 4 Ashkenazi Jews have at least a sensitivity to lactose. So
That's wild.
it's out there, is all I'm saying. But there was a point in my life where I really thought like I was like lactose intolerant.
Hmm.
And then I kind of came out as like just like a weird month. And I'm confident I'm not, but like they're just certain foods. It's really just cream. It's really just cream, and I stay away from milk just to be safe.
All right. Well,
Just to be safe.
hopefully God will smile on you and you'll be able to have some nice Alfredo and some penne vodka too. You're missing out on
Vodka's actually okay. I don't think it's as
vod.
cream. I don't think it's as cream heavy.
Uh,
So it's like or I just let it. Honestly, I might just do it anyway. I might just be doing it.
you got to have the real Italian Alfredo because the real Italian Alfredo does not use any cream.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually like that's like one of my like biggest passions is food.
Like you cook or like wait, what is
Cooking,
the
yeah, cooking.
yeah?
Eating
What do you
eating
make?
eating too.
Eating.
Eating too, but like yeah, I really enjoy being in the kitchen.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. I cooked last week once. Well, I cooked one time last week and I meal prepped. So like that's how little I enjoyed it was I made 2 pounds of chicken as opposed to one serving of chicken.
So I will drive myself crazy for 3 hours in the kitchen cooking one dish because I'm just extremely extra like that.
What's your go-to? What do we got?
It's probably steak.
Oh, but steaks doesn't take that long to cook though.
No,
Steaks
no,
like a
no, no, no.
quick thing.
The steak itself is quick, yeah, but I got to make a wine jus before you make the steak.
Oh wow, you're really about that.
I'm
No,
Yeah,
seriously,
no, I
that's
got
impressive stuff.
so actually right now I have like a container of like what's it called? Oh my God, what are those types of containers called? The Rubbermaids.
Rubbermaid, love a good
What?
Rubbermaid.
So yeah, I have like a container of jus sitting right now in a Rubbermaid in my fridge, like just waiting for the next time I make a steak because when I do make it, I like try to make it in like a big batch so that the next time I make a steak, I don't have to like sit there for 3 hours doing it again.
Yeah,
But like that's the way I am with all my food. Like I will take something as simple as like schnitzel and mashed potatoes, and I will make it an event because just because I enjoy it.
dude, my roommate, not like a while ago, he was like, I want to make schnitzel, and when I say like schnitzel, he made like 5 pounds of schnitzel.
Whoa.
Like our kitchen was a mess because the breading, like the flour, the egg,
Yeah.
right? Like schnitzel, like surprisingly, like there is a bit more to it than people realize when it comes to like actually cooking it.
Yeah.
And I was glad because I ate it, it benefited me. So I'm not saying this like in a disparaging way, but like it's like I was like, what is like am I witnessing a psychopath? Like what's going on here?
We call it a pachke.
A potchka. Oh wow, I haven't heard that word. My grandma used to say that word.
Yeah. It's just like a big deal.
The
That's
big deal, yeah.
it's a big deal, yeah.
Wow. What's your favorite like cuisine though? Like just generally speaking.
Probably Asian.
Really?
Yeah. Love listen, there's obviously a lot of stuff that from Asian cuisine that I can't eat
No,
because of
there's a lot of pork
kosher.
in their diet
There's a
too.
there's a lot of pork, there's a lot of, different kinds of fish that we can't eat, different parts of the animal, even just certain parts of the cow that we can't eat just from
True.
kosher, but
True.
the certain style of cooking and the flavors that they use, like I really love sesame flavor. I love the flavor of green onions and spring onions and soy, all all that kind of stuff is really my
That's it.
jam. Like if I'm going, like if you're gonna ask me to make a dinner, like a steak dinner, very high likely that I'm going. Wait, that was horrible grammar. It's very high likelihood
Yes.
that I will be marinating that in like some sort of Asian mixture.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like there's always like a chili paste around, isn't there?
Homemade too.
Wow, homemade. See, I would just buy it.
It's so easy to make. You take like hot oil and
I'm
a bunch
so
of chili
lazy.
flakes. You heat up literally you heat up oil in a pot. You have a bowl of chili flakes, and when the oil is heated up, you pour it over the chili flakes. Done.
I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy. But what I especially like about this particular conversation about food is that we're like two Ashkenazi Jews and like our culture is not known for like cooking well.
No.
Like really, really not known for cooking well. And I can attest to it's usually true,
Yeah.
but
I remember
you're outside the lines here. You're
I
making an
remember one
exception.
time, speaking of how bad Ashkenazi food is, I remember one time I love watching like cooking shows.
Me too.
So Hell's Kitchen is one of my favorites. And I remember one time they had like a punishment for the losing team of the day. The punishment was that they had to eat gefilte fish for lunch. Like
That's tough.
Manischewitz jarred
Store
gefilte
bought.
fish.
Store bought, yeah.
Store-bought Manischewitz jarred gefilte fish.
So yeah.
And I'm watching them like react to it, and I'm like, y'all just need some horseradish.
So I don't I'm like so torn on gefilte fish because like it feels like because I don't like it, but it feels like I'm slandering my own people when I say I don't like it. If it feels like I'm like, yo, like gefilte fish, like it's just not good. Like, yes,
I
and by
got
and
you.
by the
I
way,
got you though.
people say like, oh, store-bought homemade different, 100% different. I don't like it either way though. But yes, one is better, like significantly, but like I just it ain't it.
Personally, fried is like the best version of it.
Yeah, fried anything is the best
Absolutely.
version though, so it's
But
like
yeah, it's not my favorite form of fish, but if it's out there, I'll eat it.
you're not cooking it.
No, I'm not cooking it.
No. See,
No.
exactly. That I
Like
think
if I'm making Shabbat, you're not finding anywhere gefilte fish
thank you.
anywhere.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, that's what I needed to hear right there.
Yeah, we'll do a halibut, we'll do some
Oh,
salmon.
see that's those are like classy fishes, like that's like classy
Listen, what do you know?
fish. I
What do
don't
you
know.
what can I say? I'm just a classy guy.
Classy guy. I don't know what to tell you. Have you always been religious, by the way? Your name is
Yeah,
Mendel, so I assume as
yeah,
much.
I
Okay.
mean, listen, I had some rebellious years, but
Didn't we all? Didn't we
yeah,
all? Well,
you
like
know,
like
it's fun.
16 to 18 for you?
Just about, yeah,
Yeah, very
about
classic
16 to
Jewish
18.
rebellious years right there.
Yeah, yeah, and I gave my mom heart palpitations, but thank God I leveled out, and we're still there's still things that I would do that they frown upon in yeshiva. Absolutely. Like, certain the way I dress, like, I'm not out here wearing a white shirt. I got my t-shirt on.
But that's like so yes, they would. And by the way, I'm saying it's like I have earrings. You know what I mean? Like if I not that I'm like super religious, but like if I went to like a yeshiva, like that would be like whoa, you know what I mean? Earrings, how could
Yeah,
you?
no, they would tell you no, they would tell you to take it out or
Oh, for
leave.
sure, 100%. But
Yeah.
it's like earrings for some reason are like, and this is just in the Jewish community are a very for men, not women, obviously, are like a very big no-no, like
Well,
culturally and socially.
that's Torah.
For
So there's what
men can't
there's
have it in the Torah,
so there's one law in the Torah that says a man should not dress like a woman and vice versa.
and earrings fall into that.
So at the time, only women were wearing jewelry. At the time, men didn't wear jewelry,
True.
like for the most part, unless you were like royalty.
Except the servants, the slaves.
The slaves were allowed to have earrings. That's right. That's a
Yes.
very niche law.
I learned it like 1 month ago. I swear, like somebody just threw it out there, and I went, "Yep, keeping that one." I just learned
If
that
I ever
detail.
have a slave, I'm taking him to the door and I am piercing that ear.
Yeah, that must have been very painful, by the way.
I always wondered, how does a door pierce an ear? Like that's
I don't know because you know, it's
like
not
did
like
they
the
have
modern.
special like pointy doors back then?
Mm,
I don't
I
know.
hope so.
I don't know.
So
But yeah.
16 to 18 were those rebellious years. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very classic from like the religion from like the Orthodox community to kind of
Yeah.
have a little drop off then. And how many kids do you have, by the way?
Just one
Just one? Okay.
for now.
For now, you're late. 25
Yeah.
and only one kid?
So I think that's pretty standard.
You think so? Is it getting
I think so.
older? Is it getting a little bit older now in like the Orthodox community, like for like having kids?
It depends on, level of religiousness. That's really what it is. It's, some people who are more religious than others will probably get married a little later because they are going to finish, going through the entire yeshiva system, which you're finished by 22, and then you go out and help a rabbi for 1 or 2 years, and then you're 23, 24. So around that age is normally where guys are getting hitched.
That's not even
Um,
that early though.
no, it's not.
Like in the Midwest, people get married at 24 all the
Yeah.
time.
So I myself, I got married at 21. Um, so I was 21, right? Yeah, I was 21. So I was 21 when I got married. I had left yeshiva for a while and I was working and there was no reason to just sit at home, essentially.
You mean like working like a job, not like
I was working at a job. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
wasn't doing music at the time. I mean, I was making music, just it wasn't in
Yeah.
professional capacity.
Yeah, sure.
But
Very
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
21. I'm 27 right now, by the way.
Oh, there you go. You're late. Is your mother must be like really on your back.
It's coming, yeah. It's coming because my brother just got engaged.
Oh man.
He's 29.
Yeah. So wait. I'm okay. So this is going to be an impression of every single one of Max's relatives at his brother's wedding. You're
Yeah,
next.
yeah. I know. I'm not putting in enough effort to be completely honest. I need to do more. I need to do more if I'm really if I'm really throwing that out there.
Listen, you go back to school. You get a doctor's degree like that.
My brother is a doctor, so how's that for
There you
see? Yeah,
go.
there it is.
See, I've always thought that I have some sort of ESP.
Well, so I don't want to disparage like Jewish women when I say what I'm about to say, but
Oh, okay. Now this is going to be
in
good. I
our
need to put on
world,
both headphones.
in our world, the Jewish community, like doctor, lawyer, engineer, like it's very important that people do those things, become those things. You know what I mean? And I have one of my brother's medical school shirts. Last year, I was in Israel, and I was going home. I was in the airport after weeks of just rejection. Just rejection, rejection, rejection. Israeli women just. And I was like, I was done. I'm done. Yeah.
They can be rough.
Yes, they're rough, and I don't speak Hebrew fluently, so that I could do better at that. Whatever. That's not the disparaging part. I'm not actually mad about that because it's time passed. In the airport, about to leave, and like the LL flight attendant is like, "Oh, medical school," and I'm like, "Oh, medical school." Like the interest. I was like, "Damn, like it really is real."
I don't think it's just in the Jewish world though.
It's not. There's many other communities, but like obviously it's known in our world, like even outside of our own circles, it's known like that,
Yeah.
doctor.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of doctors. We do it.
It's more it's more the parents, and that comes from a place of like wanting their children to be secure financially. And if you marry a doctor, high chances are you're going to be financially secure.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I'm not disagreeing with it.
No, like,
I understand like the psychology. So
yeah, listen, like, when, like, not to say that they are, like, thank God, everyone in my life is very supportive, but like, if my in-laws would have been like, oh, we're really nervous because, you're a musician, I would be like, yeah, I get it. I'm
I'm nervous
nervous.
too. I'm also
I'm
nervous.
nervous too. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah. The honesty it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
There's
But thank God, with incredible blessings, and people are enjoying what's been put out, and thank God there's even more amazing stuff. That's one of the things I love most about this job, is that I'm always able to get better. And with each track and with each record I release, I learn something new. And and every time it does that, the next song is taken to another level because of it.
I mean, it's a never-ending process learning. Especially in the artistic fields. I really feel like this to be true of like music, video editing, podcasting like this, journalism. Like you're literally always like, you know what? That's not great. And you're like 5 years in already, and it's like, you know what? This could be better. It's
Abs-
always continuing. How long have you been doing music like professionally, would you say?
Professionally, as like for a full-time job, 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, I've been doing music since I was like, I've been producing since I was 14.
Okay.
Um, and I've been playing instruments since I was 6.
Why do you
So
think why do you think music is so prevalent in like the like well, I'm gonna say not even Jewish community, but like in like the religious community? It feels like music is so common.
that's a
That's
good question. That's a good
Yeah, because you
question.
produce it, but like it's just everybody plays an instrument. It feels like it's just so common, like in the Orthodox Jewish community, to have
I
to have your to have
well,
something music
to learn an instrument, is, it builds discipline,
for sure.
100%. Like, so that's one thing. Like, I know a lot of, in the Asian communities, you'll find that a lot of parents really want their children to take up an instrument. And that's because taking up an instrument really teaches you discipline, and it teaches you how to do something over and over again that you're bad at. There's one saying from the Talmud that's a very famous saying. What's How do you define an idiot? Someone who does the same thing over and over again and expects different results. That's literally
That's what,
describing a
yeah.
musician.
They
You know,
they
we
say they say that's the definition of insanity.
Exactly. And that's literally musicians. We're literally sitting there when you're I teach music, you know, as a way to make some money in between all the art stuff, which, doesn't make the most money. Um, and this is what I tell my students, like, you're gonna have to do the same thing over and over again, and you're gonna suck at it. And you
Yeah.
have to keep doing it, and then just eventually you'll be good. That's just how it works. And a lot of people have a hard time with that because it's like, I can't do this over and over again. I'm terrible. It sounds bad. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm never going to get any better. And that's when people quit. But the insane people keep
Keep going.
going and make the same mistakes over and over and over again until they finally get it right. And that practice of, doing it over and over again until you get it right and not giving up really builds discipline.
It's
So,
interesting. It's interesting to talk about this idea of like being bad at something and just keep going and going. Like I do stand up and like I'll admit myself and many comedians when we start doing stand up, like the first couple times, there's this unrealistic expectation in our head that we're gonna be the next Dave Chappelle. It's just gonna hit. And it's like, oh, why? Like we don't need to work for a bunch of years. Like it will just make sense. Almost never the case, right? So it ends up becoming like that, where you're just doing something, you're bombing for years, right? Not every time, but very often. And it's like, why keep going? And it's like, well, I'm just addicted to it. It's like obsession. There's a level of obsession, and I think when you look at people in the top spheres, and this, I mean, like athletes, right? If you make it to the NBA, if you make it to the NFL, or if you become a CEO of a company, if you're like in the top air, like if you're like in the best of your industry, you're obsessed. There's some level of like psychopath behavior in you that just keeps going.
I mean, just look at Kobe Bryant.
Well, he
He's
he he's like the ultimate like
he's
obsessor, but like even
my biggest inspiration.
he is
Not not not
as he should be.
not as like my biggest inspiration for a person who's not a musician. Like I quote him all the time. He had one thing that he said, you know what? There will always be people that are more talented than me. There will never be somebody who works
He works
harder than
harder than
me.
me. Exactly.
And I was like, that is going to be my life philosophy from now on.
No, I think it's perfect. I mean, you're looking at like the ultimate like version of like obsessive, like kind of OCD behavior, but like put in the right direction at the same time. Where like not only that, we talk about Kobe. This man like was a very smart guy. Like he spoke like five different languages. He learned like French in like a year. I just found out recently.
Just to trash talk Tony Parker.
Just you watched that video too. Just a trash talk Tony Parker. Yes.
It's amazing. The
It's
level of
fantastic.
I aspire to that level of pettiness.
Oh my God, that level of pettiness is like so fantastic. I mean, the videos of him trash talking people in other languages because they're out there. Spanish,
I,
French,
I'm
like
pretty I'm pretty
Slovenian,
sure didn't he learn Slovenian for like the either either the FIBA World Cup or the Olympics?
something like that. And and
One of
and
those.
and he grew up speaking Italian in Italy. So it's like,
Yeah.
man, I also aspire to that level of pettiness.
It's just amazing. It's still not as funny as the Shaq Yao thing, but that is still
Oh yeah, the Shaq yeah where he didn't know Yao Ming spoke English.
yeah. That's that like I see that story all the time. Like it just pops up on my feed every so often, but every time it comes up I watch it because that is just like
Yeah.
that's like one of the best trolls ever.
Oh, it's incredible. For years he thought the man didn't speak English, and he was actually very good at it.
Yeah. It's just like respect to Yao for like keeping quiet that long.
Oh yeah. He could
Like
easily like because I can't imagine the trash talk that was being thrown Yao's way too. And he just stayed quiet.
yeah, I guess people just stop trash talking because like, oh, I guess he just
They're like,
doesn't
he doesn't
understand us.
understand what I'm saying, so
What's
why
the
would I
point?
even go? Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably. Honestly, probably.
that would be a move. I wonder if that's why he did it.
Who's to say, man? Who's to say?
Only one way to find out.
Only
We got to meet Yao Ming.
I gotta meet. Yeah, I don't want to. I'd feel so bad about myself if I met Yao Ming. I struggle standing next to people taller than me. Like, and I mean like much taller than me. Hits the self-esteem in all the worst ways.
I hear that. Like there it's not very often that I'll walk into somewhere and someone's taller than me,
How tall
but
are you?
every 6'2".
Oh, I didn't know you were that tall. Okay. Wow.
So generally I don't see people who are that much taller than me in a room. Like I'm 6'2", so like anytime I see someone taller than me, for me it's like I have to go up to them and be like, It's very rare for me to feel short. And I say the same thing every time.
Well, you're also in the Jewish community too,
Yeah.
where like I'm 5'11", and I am
That's
told, and I have Jews tell me I'm tall. 5'11"
yeah.
is average height, by the way, in America.
5'11" is tall in the Jewish community,
But
especially
yes,
Ashkenazic.
no, Ashkenazi are the taller group of Jews here.
Are we?
Yes, 100%. That's the one big advantage we have over the Sephardic Jews is that we're the taller ones.
Go us.
Yes, 100% go us. But the point being is that I like all of Jews like you're tall, and I'm like, yeah, because you're used to seeing a bunch of 5'9" men, and I'm 5'11". But out in the world, like 5'11" is purely average.
I remember a couple years ago they opened a store in my neighborhood called Under 5'10", and it was a men's clothing shop specifically for anyone under 5 foot
It's a
10.
lot of men.
And I was like, well, first of all, listen, okay. I was like a little bit like annoyed because I was like, what gives? Like what's with the tall shaming? What's with the tall shaming? But then I was like, you know what? It's fine. I can go shop anywhere. It's all good.
They can shop anywhere too though. If you're under 5'10", like you can. I think that's more just like a gimmick of like you got to get people in the store than anything else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but it's just, for anyone who's thinking about opening a store, maybe think about a gimmick that doesn't limit your customer base.
how about like an over 6'5"? How's that?
Now I feel attacked
Now
against.
you feel taxed again. See, hit the
I
mark.
feel attacked again.
Exactly, man.
Nowhere in this world is safe.
Honestly, no.
No,
Especially when you're tall, dude. Especially when you're tall, like
like,
this is something I don't get a lot, but like tall people always get like the how tall are you question because I'm the one asking them,
mhm.
and I would get very annoyed.
I never really get annoyed at the question. When I get annoyed is when someone's like repeatedly, "Oh my God, you're so tall. Oh my God, you're so tall." Like yes, I'm tall. Get over it. Can we just talk about something else now?
Do you feel like you're so tall? I feel like 6'2"
No,
is I feel like
I
6'2" is
really
just
don't.
tall.
I really don't. I don't feel like I'm so tall. Like if I stand next to someone really short, then yeah, I feel tall.
Yeah, I feel like you got to be like at
But
least
like
6'5" to be like tall. You know what I mean?
but like on a general day, if I'm walking down the street, I just feel normal.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I feel like it's time for a transition here. You released Education a few weeks ago, and you have a new single coming out soon. Is that correct?
Yes, Sunday.
Got
So
any
this is
details on that?
Yeah, this song is actually like a really, really special one for me. It's when I first really started taking music seriously, like as like, I want to do this as a career. I was around 18 and this was one of the first songs I wrote after making that decision. And I could never figure out the chorus. I had all the melodies written out, everything was ready to go. And for about 6 years, I could not figure out the lyrics for the chorus. I must have written it like 12 times, and I just wasn't happy with it any of the times. So it kind of just sat on the shelf and was like, all right, I'll get to it when I get to it. And in between, basically every time I released a song, I was like, all right, let me go back to this one and see if I can finish it up and get it out there. Like if this can be my next release, that would be great. And after every release, it just didn't work, and I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And then I'd basically given up on it, and I hadn't touched it for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And just a couple of months ago, I was just doing some cleanup on my computer and deleting a lot of files that I didn't need anymore and just making space on my hard drive. And I saw the file for this song and I was like, you know what? Let me give it one more go. I'm going to give it one more go, and if it doesn't work, I'm just going to forget about this song forever. And it just hit me, and I wrote it out, recorded it. So I sent it along to my friend DJ Kraz, and I was like, "Hey," because we had been looking for something to collab on together, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this melody?" And within I think by the end of the day or maybe the end of the next day, he sent me the completed track. Like he had basically just taken my vocals from the demo and built a entire track around it, and it was just done. And that was like just really really cool. That was just really cool. It was like the quickest I had ever finished a collab in. And yeah, we're really excited to put it out this Sunday. He really gave it a lot of energy that it didn't have before, and I'm just really excited to hear what people think. I'm just excited to get this song out there because like I said, it was just sitting there collecting dust, and I'm just relieved that it's out or going to be out.
Got to follow up education. So
Yeah,
the big one. This is the big one right here.
well, hopefully people like it, and hopefully, as we say, from strength to strength.
From strength to strength. And that will be out on Spotify and all the other big music
Spotify,
platforms.
Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. What else is there? Deezer. I've never heard of Deezer until I started putting out music, but apparently there's a music app called Deezer, Pandora, and all the others. It'll be everywhere.
So catch it in any of those places. I'll put a link to it in the
Thank you
bio.
so much. Appreciate it.
I mean, what are the plans you have for the future here, musically, commercially,
Just
professionally?
working a lot on just different tracks, doing shows, trying to get working on some collabs with some decent people. Uh really, really good dudes. I'm really excited. I can't talk about all that stuff just
Of course
yet,
not. Of course not.
but very, very excited for we got I'm gonna be working with some really cool people, and I'm really excited for what's coming. This is I always feel like I'm telling my wife, like, where I feel like I'm right on the precipice. And she's like, you've been saying that for a while. And I'm like, really? Because like I've been growing for the last couple of like really ever since the Yiddish stuff. It's been a little bit like slow but consistent growth. And each time I reach a milestone, I like immediately move on to the next milestone. Like I immediately forget, like, hey, this was the milestone. You did that. You accomplished something. And then like the next day I'm like, oh, I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not getting anywhere.
Very classic for an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just all about just trying to keep focused and just get to that next milestone.
Well, just keep going. Uh,
Thank you.
I'll end on this. I always ask this question. I'm gonna make it a two-parter here. So the
Okay.
first part is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received. You know what? I'm going to give you this one. The best piece of advice I ever received was from my father, who told me something that seemingly is very simple, but has a lot of layers to it. My father always tells me, read the manual,
Read the manual. I like that.
which basically translates to, everyone, gets pieces of equipment, they get computers or phones or software, and nobody reads the manual. People just jump right into the software
Right.
or whatever it is, and then someone comes along who has read the manual and does it in like 2 seconds, and everyone's like, how did you do that? And they're like, what do you mean, how did I do that? The people who made this made a book on how to use it, and I read that. And it really is applicable towards all aspects of life. Anytime you're in any situation, just figure out the basics, figure out how to do exactly what you're trying to do, or figure out how to live exactly how you're trying to live, and then follow that rule book. Follow that. If you're a religious Jew, then your manual is the Torah. If you're a Christian, then your manual is the New Testament. If you're a Muslim, your manual is the Quran. But each every and even if you're an atheist, there are so many manuals for atheists.
Yeah.
So many books. So whatever it is you are, read your manual, know who you are, and follow that.
And now the second part of this question, which is this is the harder part, is what is the
Okay.
worst piece of advice you've ever received?
Get a day job.
Ooh, that's good. That was such a quick response. Very impressive.
I absolutely am. Such a firm believer in that. If you have a passion, if you have a talent, like that's. There have been so many times where I tried to do other things and something happened where it kind of just felt like God pushing me back into music. Like, no, no, you had it right. What are you doing over here? Stop getting distracted. And I'm a firm believer of like, if you were given something that you are able to do and that's like, something that's rare that not a lot of people can do, it's not just that you should go into it, it's your duty and your obligation to share that with the world and to use it to inspire people, to make people laugh, and to, art makes us better people, whether it's paintings, comedy, movies, music. We watch, listen, and we try to take in from these things. I have a lot of character traits about myself that I got because I was watching a TV show and I was like, you know what? I like what I see in that guy. I want that to be something about me. And like I'm not talking about like whole personality things. I'm talking about like, there's, you see someone doing some kindness and you're like, I want that for me. I want to be able to do that for others. And it's our duty as artists to be able to inspire people and to give people things that they can relate to and take from and become better.
100% agree. Could
That's
not agree
awesome.
more. That was like normally like people are not that quick, but you like that wouldn't have been ruminating for a little bit.
It's something I think about occasionally. I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
It's something
no,
like
it has to
like
be
like I sit there and I think about, man, I could be so much further if I hadn't wasted 4 years working in real estate.
real estate too. Oof.
Yeah. So like there was it's definitely like something that I think about and like I try to like, okay. But I definitely learned a lot from there. I learned how to treat my art as a business, which is definitely
Always skills.
helpful.
There's always skills to take.
Absolutely.
Uh, yeah, fantastic advice, honestly, on both ends. Where can we find you?
Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, those are the main places. I have an account on Twitter. It's been suggested that I should use it. I'm also on Threads, but mainly Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. That's where you can find me.
And the username is, well, it's Mendel.
Mendel underscore music.
Mendel underscore music. Mendel underscore music.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
We
having me.
appreciate,
This is
of
always
course.
a pleasure.
Love it. Do you do podcasts a lot or
I've done a couple. It's not
couple?
something I do too often,
Yeah.
but I've done a couple. Yeah,
It's a different medium, you know? It's like
definitely.
it's a different skill set, it's a different medium as a guest, especially it's really a different medium.
For me, it's just mainly because I talk a lot, so it's like I have to just make sure that I'm not talking over.
This is the right
Yeah.
place to talk a lot, I'd argue. So I think you're doing the right thing this time.
That's
But
good.
anyway, yeah, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. Do what you want with that. Uh,
All right.
anyway, thank you for
Well,
coming on.
I'll be honest, I was expecting a lot more bothering. Like, there was not so much, a lot more strangers than bothering in this episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I've fallen off on the bothering thing, and I used to be much better at it. I don't know what happened. Something went wrong.
I think you're just like rounding out as a person.
Gotta, God, it's
Yeah,
my only option, you know.
not
Thank you for coming on. Thank
a
you for
problem.
listening. This will be out on Thursday. On all platforms as YouTube for video, and then all platforms for audio.
All right.
That's all, and everyone have a good one.